Hey everybody! Welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's time once more for our weekly painting progress. I feel like it's our mediocre weekly painting progress. I'm not super pleased with what I painted this week, but it is painted, and I'm just too much of a curmudgeon to not show it off, and I'm just going to keep on rolling with it. But first, we have some nice paint jobs from Mr. Percival Sparkletrout, and why don't we show those off first? So this is a Maker's Cult Black Knight Assault Trooper, I believe. The Black Knights being a faction that they've been slowly and consistently working on for quite some time. They had some snipers recently, I believe. But yeah, this is one of their assault guys, obviously, with the big shields and blades. I believe there was also an option for pistols as well. And as is always the case with Maker's Cult models, everything is individual parts, so you can customize it and modify it to your heart's content. I like the highlighting on that. Let's see if I can get that zoomed in. Is that going to happen? It certainly doesn't seem that way. My camera is just like, nope, we're not going to. For shame. Anyway, there's some really nice edge highlighting. We'll put photos up on Instagram for you guys to check out if you are more than curious there. We also have from Mr. Sparkletrout another of the Bestiarum diver / miner suits. We saw one in the previous week done up in a nice bluish gray with a drill. This one has a chainsaw, and I know he was saying he wasn't too pleased with it. He didn't think the orange worked. I think it does. To me, it's the red on the chainsaw that throws things off, but that's just me. When I see a red chainsaw attached to an arm, I instantly think Evil Dead. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's what the issue is. I don't know. I would say he should try painting it orange or gray, maybe. But despite that, it looks really nice. And finally, my favorite one that he got painted this week was one of Dork Factory's skeletal robot servitor type dudes. I don't remember what they were even called now. But he's got some swagger. Look at him. He's just strolling on down the tabletop. He's got places to go, things to see. And this camera is not focusing. Well, I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, I've been talking to a cousin of mine, and I know he does a lot of production film work and stuff, so hopefully he can help me get some things straightened out. We can make things look nicer and neater. You know, it reminds me of, what's his name? Satotsu from the beginning of Hunter x Hunter. The guy with his big strides when Gon takes the hunter's exam. That's super obscure. And yeah. So that's what he got done. I got a whole pile of random stuff done, but if you've never watched this channel, well, get in for that to be the normal state of affairs, because that's what I tend to do around these figure parts. No, I grabbed a whole bunch of random historical figures, and for whatever reason, their faces just came out god-awful. Everything else I'm content with, but the faces are just wrong. I don't know what happened. I probably need to go back in with a finer brush and really touch up where the skin and like the beards meet. Are you gonna work with me here today? See, this is really frustrating. I'm like trying to get my phone to focus on this, and nope, we don't want to do that. Anyway, his face sucks. Not sure why that is. Definitely gonna have to go back and fix that up. But that's an old, what are they called? War Games Factory sculpt. Went ahead and did some Victrix ones as well, but the results weren't much better. I don't know what happened with his face here. It just looks horribly scarred and misaligned, and the skin tone looks totally off. He looks like he's been in a fire or something. Apologies to any fire victims out there, because hopefully you look nicer than this poorly painted model. I'm not happy with him. But then again, this is just like a rank and file dude that will just stick in the back, and nobody will hopefully be any the wiser. But I'm going to go fix his face up. I'm not happy with it at all. Let's see, other Victrix figures a random Viking. Because why not, right? Actually, I'm pretty pleased with this guy. I think he came out okay. Again, I don't know why my camera is not letting me get those details zoomed in today. Or I should say focused. It doesn't want to focus on anything. See, if I do that, then it gets all jiggly and vibrating, and I'm going to have to get things realigned, but you can see him a little bit better here. I tried to give him a decent paint job. And let's see our horribly misshaped... Look at this face. Blah. You're getting fixed. And yet another Victrix model. This guy fared a little bit better. I don't know what's up with his shield. The skin tone looked a little bit better the first time I saw it, prior to getting any sort of sealer on it. But him, like, again, he's like a background rank and file infantry type model, so I'm not going to be too stressed on that. Right, speaking of other rank and file, here is a random Mantic halfling. Again, I'm like, I could have done better. I feel like I probably shouldn't have gone all the way around with the black. I feel like I just kind of half-assed it. And I feel like I should have done something with the trim of his coat, or at least gone back over it again with a wash, but I didn't. I mean, it's okay. I just didn't know how to paint him. I figured greens, but I'm like, it's a halfling. I'll paint a few more. I should have a video coming out on their infantry regiment box set from Mantic. The plastic one, I should say. I mean, they've got some various mixed materials and resin ones, but honestly, it's a lot of bang for your buck if you like halflings. Let's see some printed stuff. A ninja from Kyoshu Neko Miniatures. And I gotta say, they have really been carrying the torch when it comes to fantasy-themed Asian models. And they may not be as modular as they once were, but I'm not going to fault them because, number one, I can actually get them all printed off then, and it's not like I was being all that creative with their poses as it is. I'm not 100% sold on this black trim on his jacket or on the top of his cloak. If you guys have any suggestions, by all means, please share them. Otherwise, it's a nice little ninja, and he did have a little bit of a print error there with his blade. And now I'm wondering, did I ever even show a video on these ninja? They had a whole batch like of ninja and Tengu and Oni and just all kinds of cool stuff like that. I've been really having a ball with their Patreon lately. All right, what else we got? Other random printed stuff here. Here is a, I don't know his official name, Rat Assassin from Resin Warfare. And he gave me a heck of a time because he's just going every which direction, and I'd paint one thing and then realize, nope, that's actually something else. Like, he's got these bracelets with spikes. He's got the shuriken, which I didn't even realize at first, sitting on his shoulder. He's got throwing knives, which I snapped off the tip of one right there on his belt. He's got, like, poison vials over here. He's got spikes on his tail. In fact, I'm not even sure if this is supposed to be like a bandage or something on his tail, or if it's just the actual... I have no idea. He's just kind of going everywhere all at once, and honestly, I could probably go back and even still find mistakes that I need to fix and trim up, but it's a cool pose. It's definitely a cool pose. My only real sad knock against it is he doesn't actually have 3 blades. I mean, obviously, it's supposed to be a Deathmaster type model, if you wanted to go with a Warhammer name, and I always loved the fact that Snitch, or whatever his name was, had that 3rd blade. You know, he had the 2 in his hands and the 1 on his tail, but this is still a pretty cool model. He's really big also. I think if you're going to consider getting any of the Resin Warfare vermin, rats, or whatever they want to call their army of rodents, definitely, if you want them more Skaven size, you're going to want to shrink them down. But I like them kind of big. And again, I like them kind of ninja too. They also have a couple of modular options if you want, like, ninja, assassin, samurai looking rat men. Here we have a random Khador, because Khador is in War Machine. I'm looking at a Man of War sitting here on the table. Never mind. Cawdor. Anyway. Funny enough, the Necromunda stuff is one of those GW games that I really, even though I don't get to play it, I really can't give up on the models. I've really enjoyed all of the modern stuff. Was never much of a fan of the originals. I know that may be heretical to some of you, but I really have liked the modern take on these guys. So we have both the heavy weapons this week and the boss man. And the reason I had to get them done was I've had a box of Purifiers. I think I've got almost every semi-recent Necromunda release, and I have yet to actually finish filming the videos on any of them. I've got the Dillac box. I've got 2 boxes of the different Enforcer types here. We've got, I mean, seriously, I've got a bunch of it, and I have never shown any of it. It's very sad. All right, one of these days. Here we have, with his horribly warped swords, and unfortunately, the colors are looking really washed out and lame now, and that's 100% my fault. This is the veteran samurai model that Flying Frog put out for their Dice Fest 22. So every Dice Fest is the brothers' kind of own little local gaming convention for all things Flying Frog that they host in their neck of the woods, but then also broadcast all that and have all sorts of sales online. So if you're interested, while he may be only available originally at that one event, he is going to show up online in the future. And I know this because I've seen the other original Dice Fest models manifest themselves onto those sales lists quite a few times now. So anyway, you can see my horrible kanji. This is the first shot at writing the Furin Kazan, which was Shingen Takeda's big thing that he had on his banners. Came out a little bit better there. But yeah. My wife's family lives in Takeda clan area of Japan, so had to have that. And finally, because as a surprise to no one, I had to get the Shogun from Raging Heroes done. And again, I don't know if it's just my sealer, it just eats up the detail. Like, he used to have that pattern, all the little whorls and swirls on the kimono, and you can't see them now at all. They're just non-existent. I also did a horrible job cleaning up the support removal all over his back, sadly. And I need to touch up that horn there, or ear, or whatever it is. I mean, I know it's super zoomed in, but I still like this model. This is probably my favorite one of that release. Is there definitely room to improve? 100%. Are there better painters that are going to do a better job out there than me? Absolutely. But you know what? I don't care. This one is mine, and it's done, and I am happy with it. And yeah, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I should have done something there. Should have added a bit more something on those armor plates on both his waist and his shoulders. But you know what? He's finished. So I gotta say, overall, not a bad little haul of stuff this week for me. I should have some more stuff done next week. I have spent most of my free time, now that the internet's working again, working on trying to clean up and fill in the gaps of a bunch of very large print jobs. So I'm looking forward to showing those off. Hopefully they'll be up this week. We've got some big stuff. And one of these days, my daughter said, oh yeah, I'll make you a logo. And I'm like, I'm still waiting. Because I'm sitting here. One of the things I love to do as I'm filming these is have my cup of coffee. But I want an Obscurities and miniature coffee cup. I do. So hopefully I can get her moving on that. If any of you have any cool suggestions or ideas, by all means, let me know. And you can hit me up here or on Instagram or on our Patreon page, which, again, is the only time, once a week, that I like to throw out a plug for ourselves there. And while we're at it, if you're interested in finding any of these models for yourself, we'll have links to everything down below so you can go and splurge and I can be the ultimate enabler that I attempt to be, right? Yeah. So, with that said, oh, shoot, I'm not done. Silly me, there was a little Hanzaki hiding here from Cobra Mode. How can I forget these? I was rambling on and on to my wife and my kids and Mr. Sparkletrout about looking forward to the new Tengu models that they have coming. And why would I forget that? So yeah, new Tengu models as of like what, Tuesday, Wednesday? They look really cool. So I'm going to put that link down for Cobra Mode stuff too. Can't forget that. You get center stage, my friend. For shame. Oh, and this guy was even like a busted print. Like he didn't even print off correctly. Like half of his yukata there is missing, and you can see here he's supposed to have more of a shaft of this blade of his, but there isn't. But anyway, he's ready for action. Yeah! So yeah. Now, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.